What's going on, duelists? It's your boy Nick, bringing you today on the channel an update to my Ninja Krawler deck list for the post-Phantom Nightmare format. For those of you new to the channel, welcome. My name is Nick. We do Yu-Gi-Oh content mainly focused around rogue and casual decks alike. If that's the kind of Yu-Gi-Oh that you're interested in, then I highly encourage you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of my uploads. We just hit 1,400 subscribers, and I just want to thank everybody for their continued support, for constantly liking and subscribing, and just being there to watch all of the content that I create for you guys. It means the absolute world to me, and I'm so grateful for all of you. Like I said, if you're watching this right now and you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button, like the video, because we are still working our way to our 1,500 subscriber goal. So with that being said, Ninja Krawler. These two themes obviously don't have anything to do with each other. However, there is a lot of indirect synergy between the two, given that the more recent ninjas focus a lot more on flipping things up and face down, something that Krawlers definitely enjoy. And with that being said, in the Phantom Nightmare core set that just released, there was a lot of brand new cards that indirectly support both of these archetypes. So we're going to talk about those in addition to showing you guys the updated 44 card deck list for the post Phantom Nightmare format. So hopefully you guys got your snacks and whatnot, and we're going to dive headfirst into this 44 card list like we always do on the channel, starting off with the monster lineup. So we're playing 3 copies of Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo, basically the bread and butter starter for the ninja deck. Upon normal summon, lets you add a ninjutsu art card from deck to hand, and then if he is flip or special summoned, you can add a ninja monster from the deck to your hand except himself. So pretty much just the archetype searcher. And he is not once per turn. There are some combos that can allow you to abuse this effect multiple times a turn, which is obviously very, very cool. So obviously you just max out on a playset of Hanzo, being the best ninja starter. Then we follow that up with a playset of Mitsu, the insect ninja. She's a great extender. Whether you control a ninja monster or a face down monster, she can special summon herself from your hand for free, which is very cool. And then in addition to that, she has this really, kind of convoluted but really cool monster negate effect, where when the opponent activates a monster effect, if you control a set monster, you can flip that monster face up, flip her face down, and then if the monster that you flip face up is a ninja, you negate that effect. So overall, 2 very interesting effects, being number 1 being an extender, number 2 being a monster negate. So we max out on the Mitsu as well as a 3 of. Then we continue on with 2 copies of Tabari the Sky Ninja. Very cool monster. To be honest, I wanted to run 3 of it, but I just couldn't justify the space for 3, so I cut it down to 2 of. But this card's amazing. It can discard itself from your hand to let you special summon any ninja monster from your hand in face up or face down defense position. In addition to that, if he's flip face up or special summoned, during that turn, he cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. And if that wasn't crazy enough, as a quick effect, during the main or the battle phase, he allows you to fusion summon into a ninja fusion monster by using materials from the hand or the field. So Tabari is a very well-rounded monster, allowing you access into your fusions while also establishing, bodies on field by pitching himself from the hand, and also just being a very annoying card to out, given that he can't be destroyed by battle or card effects during the turn that he's normal, or during the turn that he's special or flip summoned specifically. So we keep moving on to now the one-ofs. You play 1 green ninja, 1 Kagero, and 1 Geo, the Gravity Ninja. So Green Ninja is really cool, again being another pseudo extender for the deck. Also, he's got a really neat effect. When he's sent to the graveyard, he can target any monster in the field and either flip it face up or face down, so very useful there. Kagero kind of functions like a secondary starter for the ninja theme. Upon normal or special summon, or if he's flip face up, he allows you to special summon a ninja monster from your hand or graveyard in face down defense position, and then he also offers targeting protection from the graveyard as a quick effect, which is really, really cool. And then Geo, the Gravity Ninja, is kind of like your main deck boss monster of sorts. If he's normal, flip, or special summoned, he can target up to 2 monsters on the field, flip them face down. If those monsters are your opponents, they're stuck face down permanently. They cannot change their battle positions, which is crazy. And then in addition to that, if a monster is flipped face up while you control the Geo, he can target a card on the field and destroy it. So overall, really cool utility here with these 3 remaining ninja monsters. So that rounds out the ninja package that we're playing as far as the monsters go, at least. Now we're going to dive into the Krawler package, of which we're starting off with a playset of Girsu the Orcust Mech Knight. Now this card is very, very powerful, and believe it or not, it actually is an amazing Krawler starter. Upon normal or special summon, he allows you to send a Orcust or World Legacy card from deck to grave. Then if there are 2 or more other cards in this card's column, you can treat this card as a tuner this turn. That effect is not that relevant, but what is relevant is that if we control no other monsters, we can special summon a World Legacy token to both players' fields in defense position. So this card not only Foolish Burials a card on summon, but also can produce another token on our side of the field and just help us get our plays going from there. So we max out on the playset of that, again, for our Krawler package. Then to follow that up, we do play a playset of Krawler Soma, an amazing extender for the Krawler deck, almost reads like a custom card. We can target a face-up monster we control, change it to face-down defense, and then we can special the Soma from our hand. Then while he's on the field, we can reduce the Soma's level by 2 or 4, and then special summon that many Krawler monsters from our hand, deck, or graveyard, whose total levels equal the total number of levels that we reduce the Soma by. So since most Krawlers are level 2s, if we reduce his level by 4, he becomes a 2, and that allows us to special summon up to 2 other level 2 Krawlers from the hand, deck, or grave, which is obviously very strong. And the fact that Soma doesn't lock you into anything is just ridiculous. Like, this card is so powerful, so obviously we max out on a playset of him. Then we play 1 Spine, 1 Glial, and 1 Axon for our level 2 flip effect Krawlers of choice. Spine is pretty much just a man-eater bug. Glial, upon being flipped, can let you special summon a Krawler monster from your hand or graveyard in attack or defense position. And then Axon is pretty much like an MST on legs. So we choose to play these 3 Krawlers individually just to give us some, fodder for the Soma effect, which is obviously very strong. And then all 3 of these Krawlers, if they leave the field by an opponent's card while they're face up, they can float into 2 other differently named Krawlers from the deck, which is really, really strong. And then to round out the last Krawler we play is the Deus Ex Krawler, who's a very crazy card, effectively a skill drain on legs, but a one-sided skill drain, only for the opponent. He's just a really big, beefy defender, and is just a total house for your opponent to have to deal with, especially given once he's flipped, he effectively just floodgates the living crap out of your opponent. So we do play the 1 Deus Ex Krawler, and there are combos that Orcust Gearsu gets us into Deus Ex on turn 0, assuming we go first. So really, really cool there. Then we round that out with a brand new card from Phantom Nightmare. It's called Time Reloader. Now this card is a very interesting card. I'm sure not many of you know about it, but it's a level 8 light machine effect monster and reads as follows. During the main phase, if a monster on the field is flipped face up, you can special this card from your hand. Then change 1 face-up monster on the field to face-down defense position. So not only does it special itself, but it also non-target books a monster face-down. Then, during the main phase, if this card is flipped face-up, you can target a monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, then change 1 face-up monster on the field to face-down defense position. So I was messing with this and testing, and I like this card a lot, especially for this deck. And like I said, this card is brand new out of Phantom Nightmare, so a lot of people don't really know about it. But I've been having a total blast with this card. It's so nutty. It's not even funny. I was playing it as a 2 of at one point, but I did cut it down to 1 because it is a little bit bricky if you draw it. Like, it does require some setup, but so far as a 1 of, it's been perfectly fine. I do not regret running this card whatsoever. So definitely a really cool tech card there. Then moving on to our hand trap lineup, we play 3 Droll, followed by 3 Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Droll just because it's great this format, and Bell for the same reason. You want to be able to stop a lot of those graveyard effects from those fire decks, and then Droll pretty much just being able to generically hose almost any deck it comes across is obviously very strong. So that rounds out the monster lineup. Again, this is a 44 card list. Now we're moving into the spells, of which you play a playset of Ninjutsu Art Notebook of Mystery. This card is a very powerful ninja card, allowing you to basically set a ninja monster and or a ninjutsu art from your deck and graveyard, but only 1 can come from each. So effectively, think of this like an E-Telly, but instead of summoning, it just special sets. So obviously very good flexibility there with what you can achieve with this particular card. It is searchable through Hanzo, which makes it very relevant. You can summon any ninja from deck or grave with this card, and or any ninjutsu art from the deck or the graveyard with this card. And then if it's destroyed while it's on the field, you get to target a face-up monster on the field and change it to face-down defense position. So even has a deterrent to prevent your opponent from trying to destroy it is really nice. The only caveat to this card is that your opponent does need to control a card in order for you to activate this. But outside of that, this card is just amazing. It definitely warrants being played at 3. Then on to the next ninjutsu art. We just play 1 copy of Ninjutsu Art Tool Iron Digger, an equip spell that can be equipped to any monster on the field, and when it's equipped to a monster, that monster becomes a ninja. And then in addition to that, we are able to banish a ninja from our graveyard to target a card in the field and destroy it. So this card serves as removal for us, and then if this card is sent to the graveyard, we can target a banished ninja monster and special summon it back to our field in face down defense position. So very cool card for recursion as well as removal. Then another tech card we play is 2 copies of Terrors in the Hidden City. This was another interesting card that came out of Darkwing Blast. It's a continuous spell that states your opponent cannot target face down defense monsters we control with card effects. In addition to that, monsters we control that were flipped face up while this card was face up on the field gain 1500 attack and defense. That is an insane stat boost, and given how many times we're flipping stuff face up and face down, that means that when we do flip our cards up, they're gaining 1500 attack and defense on top of their original stats, which just makes a lot of the things we play just absolutely massive. And then if that wasn't crazy enough, if this card is destroyed by an opponent's card, we can target a monster in our graveyard and special summon it in face down defense position. So very cool tech card is a 2 of in this deck. Then we play 1 Instant Fusion. There's a brand new Instant Fusion target that we can summon, courtesy of Phantom Nightmare. We'll get to that when we get to the extra deck. Then for some of the non-engine we play is 3 copies of Book of Eclipse, again because we just want to be able to flip everything on the board face down, not have to deal with our opponent's interactions. And then we also play 2 Book of Moon, followed by the 1 Soul and Luna, another really cool tech card that basically targets a monster we control and a monster the opponent controls. And then if they're face down, they get flipped face up. If it's face up, it goes face down, and vice versa, however that works. So Soul and Luna is a really cool tech card, but these are pretty much all the books that we play. Just allowing us to give us an edge when we go second, or even use defensively if we go first. So that rounds out the spells, and then for the trap lineup, we play 1 copy of the Ninjutsu Art of Dancing Leaves, and then we play 1 World Legacy Pawns, followed by 1 World Legacy's Mind Meld, 2 Krawler specific traps that we have to play in the deck because we're playing the Orcus Girsu combo, and these cards are needed for that combo. World Legacy Pawns is like an in-archetype Book of Taiyu and Book of Moon for our Krawler specifically, which is really nice. And then Mind Meld does have an on-field effect, but in reality, we're not going to be using it because this is the target we're going to be sending to graveyard off of our Orcus Girsu effect on summon. And then the graveyard effect is nice. We can banish it from grave to special summon a Krawler from our deck in face down defense position to a zone that a Link monster points to. So overall, a very cool card there. And that rounds out the 44 card main deck, guys. Now we're going to be jumping into the extra deck, of which we play 2 copies of Maizen the Battle Ninja. Just a really awesome boss monster for the ninjas. It can pretty much be contact fused by distributing the above monsters you control. The materials are just 2 ninja monsters with different types, so very easy to summon. While he's on the field, all ninja monsters are able to attack directly, which is really nice. And then as a quick effect, if the opponent activates any card or effect, we can special summon a ninja from our deck in face up or face down defense position. So very cool card design here, allowing us to gain advantage off of our opponent just playing the game is really, really nice without being oppressive. Like, it's not an Omni Negate or anything ridiculous like that. So just a very fun deck to kind of tinker with. And then we also play 2 copies of Yaguramaru, the Armor Ninja. This ninja is really cool. Again, similar summoning condition to the Maizen. This requires 2 ninja monsters with different types, but upon being fusion summoned, or if it's flip face up, we can target a card in the field, banish a ninja or an ninjutsu art card from our hand or graveyard, and then we can banish the targeted card on the field, which is really, really strong. So it gives the ninjas some much needed removal, which is nice, and we do play it as a 2 of. Then we play brand new out of Phantom Nightmare. This is the instant fusion target that I was telling you guys about. We play 1 copy of Master of Ham. This is a level 5 Earth Beast Fusion monster that is basically our instant fusion target for this deck. And it states that if it's fusion summoned or flip face up, we can special summon a flip monster from our hand or deck in face down defense position. Then if this card is in our graveyard, we can banish 2 flip monsters from our face up field and or grave to special summon this card in face down defense. So since we can summon this off instant fusion, it helps us plus so hard and gives us access into any of our crawlers, including Deus Ex, which is really nice. So overall, a really fun tech card that I've been messing with and testing, and it's worked out so well. So definitely shout out to Phantom Nightmare for giving this to the TCG. Really cool card out of that set. Then moving on, we do play 1 number 2 Ninja Shadow Mosquito. Again, this is a ninja Xyz monster, so we can go into this pretty easily through our crawler line, and does have some really crazy effects. Allows us to put hallucination counters on monsters, and monsters that have hallucination counters cannot activate their effects. Really cool. He can also burn the opponent, and in addition to that, he also cannot be destroyed by battle, which makes him very annoying to deal with. And while he's on the field, he forces the opponent to attack if they're able. So very cool card overall. Very annoying to deal with as well. Then moving on to some of our links, we do play one IP Masquerena, followed by one the Dark Charmer. Then we also play one Ninja Grandmaster Seizo, followed by the one X-Krawler Qualiarch. So IP and Dark obviously don't need any introductions. Most players playing the game should know what they would do. IP Masquerena just being a quick effect Link summon on the opponent's turn, and then Dark just being a very generic good Link 2 monster, allowing us to steal Dark monsters from our opponent's graveyard and summon them to our field. Seizo is a very cool Ninja Link, requiring 2 Ninja monsters specifically, and then during the main phase, he allows us to set a Ninjutsu Art spell trap directly from our deck. In addition to that, while this card points to a monsters, this card cannot be targeted for an attack. Also, it can't be targeted by card effects. So very cool monster in my opinion. And then the Qualiarch just requires 2 Crawlers. We're generally going into this off the Soma line. But if it's destroyed by battle or by card effect, it can float into 2 Crawlers with different names from the graveyard, which makes it very cool. It does have other on-field effects, but since this is not a pure Crawler list, we seldom get to use those effects. This is just like a generic Link 2 that we can summon, that if it does die, it replaces itself with 2 free bodies, which is obviously very strong. Then moving on, we do play one Lib, the World Key Blade Master. This card is pivotal for the Orcus, the Girsu combo, which does get us into a Deus Ex turn 0. If you guys want to see a combos and test hands video, chime down in the comments below and let me know if you guys want to see that or not. I'll definitely be happy to bring that to you guys. But Lib, obviously, before I move on, very strong card. She can only be summoned while there's a World Legacy card in the graveyard. But in addition to that, she also lets us set a World Legacy spell trap directly from deck to our field. And if she's sent to the graveyard as Link material, we can shuffle any card in the field into the deck, non-target. So very interesting Link monster here. Then moving on, we do play one Nightmare Unicorn, followed by the one Crusadia Equimax. Unicorn just for the nice non-destruction removal. Equimax just as an interesting tech in the extra deck. He gains attack, equal to the things that he points to, so he can become a pretty big beat stick and allow us to push for game quite easily. And then to round out the remaining 2 extra deck cards is one Beauregard Dragon and one Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. To round things out, Beauregard is nice because he does allow us to quick effect change the battle positions of monsters on the field. And the opponent can't respond to that effect, which is really cool. He also can't be destroyed by card effects, and then Avermax is obviously just a house, being untargetable and just gaining the attack of anything in battles that's special summoned is just really insane. And then also if it's leaves the field, it just shuffles any card on the field back into the deck. Just really insane Link 4. So that rounds out the extra deck, guys. Now we're going to be jumping into the side deck, which I personally think is very interesting for this format. So again, it's always up to personal preference, of course, but the side deck that I'm bringing to you guys is 2 copies of Donna Wrestler Pankratops, mainly just for going second and having that board breaking potential. Then, really interesting, because the Girsu line, like the Girsu combo into Deus Ex, is only great for going first, I felt that when you went second, the Orcus package didn't really do that much for you in the grand scheme, because trying to establish a face-down Deus Ex crawler going second just isn't getting you anywhere. So I decided that we're going to smokescreen out of that entire strategy and smokescreen into a Shaddoll package for going second specifically. So we are playing 1 copy of Nel Shaddoll Ariel, 1 copy of Shaddoll Dragon, followed by 1 Shaddoll Beast in the sideboard. Then we play 1 Winda and 1 El Shaddoll Apgalone in the extra deck. And then we round that out with a playset of Shaddoll Fusions. And again, we smokescreen into this specifically for when we go second, because both of these fusion monsters are just amazing at being able to help break boards. Apgalone just being a free permanent negate of any monster, and then Winda just being a huge floodgate. Very good against the fire matchups, not to mention the cards that you send off the Shaddoll Fusion. Like Ariel is just a banish 3 from grave. Dragon is able to pop back row, and then Beast allowing us to draw cards when they're sent to grave by card effects is just absolutely invaluable. So I thought that this was a pretty cool side deck package for this particular list. And again, the fact that we're able to smokescreen into this for going second specifically just feels really, really strong, and the opponent is definitely not going to expect it. So I thought that was pretty spicy. And then we round out, for going first, we play a playset of the Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. Strictly, like I said, if we're going first, we can just side into this, and this, again, just hoses most other decks, just flipping the entire board face down. And then any cards that were not flipped because they're links or because they're unaffected, it forces the players to send those cards to grave, which is very crazy. And then for the last 2 slots is just 2 copies of Floodgate Trap Hole, again, just for going first. This is a bit of a flex spot. I thought about playing double Lightning Storm here in this slot, But again, Floodgate Trap Hole can come up in certain matchups, so for now we're just playing this. But that's going to wrap up my updated deck profile for my Ninja Krawler list for the post-Phantom Nightmare format. Let me know what you guys thought below, down in the comments of the deck. And let me know also if you guys want to see combos and test hands for this particular list. I had a blast making this, and in testing, it's been putting in so much work. So with that being said, guys, like, subscribe, comment down below. And this is Nick hitting that end phase. We will catch you in the next video. Peace.